Guys, how are you? Here is Usama Tahir, and you have just turned to Learn English with Usama Tahir. Okay, today we will be talking about men versus women language use, subtle difference between men and women speech. Okay, students, you know what? Men and women are different in like every aspect of their life, in their dressing, in their mentality, in their psychology, in their physiology, in their physical attributes, whatever you are going to study, they are, excitingly different. So, similarly, their language use, the way they use language and their speech is different between each other. I mean, men and women have it. I mean, the way they speak, the way they use language, their pronunciation, their intonation, their use of vocabulary, their way of making structures, their topic choices, their mentality, their everything is different, not only in the practical world but in the language as well. So here we are, and I'll make series of video lectures on these subtle differences that in every language we feel and we observe. So without wasting time, let's study differences. Men and women use language differently and are concerned here to find out. So let me tell you what are we going to do in this video lecture, that men and women use language differently and are concerned here to find out those difference in an arranged manner. So the differences are in a merged form. We just here to find out and pick those differences and going to study them in an arranged manner, right? And gender studies and language studies are interdisciplinary fields right now. So gender studies is another discipline and language studies are another discipline, but now they are in interdisciplinary field. I mean, both are totally interlinked now, and we study such aspects in a subject called language and gender. We have a subject in linguistic studies called language and gender, and in that subject we study language and the role of the gender, or you can say the gender and its effect on the language. So all of these differences and such things are studied in that subject. Feminism began in 1960s and it gave rise to language and gender studies. So after feminism, there were studies started initiated on how men and women use language differently, what are the subtle differences in them, in their upbringings, in their culture, in their mentality, in their mindset, in their psychology, and their language use. So let's think together about few points here. Do you think men and women have differences in using particular language, like biological and habitual differences? I mean, in my students who thinks that women and men use the language in the same manner, there are no differences. And if they think that there are differences, then what are these? Then why is that so? Why there are differences in their using language? I mean, they are the same native speakers of the particular language, they lived in the same environment, they lived in the same society, but why are there differences in their speech, in their use of language, in their making of structure, in their pronunciation pattern, intonation, etc.? What are those elements and features that differentiate men and women's speech and use of language? So on which features, on which levels we can observe and we can notice the difference? This is the question, and all of these questions will be answered in this video lecture. So stay tuned and don't go anywhere, don't skip the video. So male female language differences. Language reflects, records, and transmits social differences. So there is nothing to be surprised on observing the gender differences in language as well. So difference in pronunciation, the very first feature, pronunciation, and the difference between men and women and pronunciation. So let's study together. Men have less better pronunciation as compared to women's. I mean, they have pronunciation and they're concerned about it, but they have less concern with the pronunciation as compared to women. Women have better pronunciation than men. Students, from the various studies, it is noticed that women are more cautious about, more concerned with their, with the quality of the language, that they must use the high quality of the language, and their pronunciation would be up to the mark. And men are less concerned and they are careless about their, pronunciation. And it is due to subtle different reasons, that men are already empowered, they are strengthened, and they're strong, so they think that there is no need to show their level or to show their standard by using better pronunciation, they are okay with using even the wrong pronunciations of words. But women are more, concerned because they want to prove themselves, they want to show something of themselves that they are better in some case, so they use better pronunciation, and they are naturally more concerned and careful about using better pronunciation by women. So men are less good in learning second language and its pronunciation than women. So it's not only in the native use of the language, but second language learning acquisition, second language learning. In second language learning, men are less good and they are slow than women, and so do their pronunciation is. And women are better than men in learning second language features like pronunciation and grammatical expert. You must have seen even in Pakistan in the classrooms that the grammar and the pronunciation of girls, the young school girls, they are better at the grammar and the pronunciation than men or the boys, I would say. So why is that so? It's in their nature, and normally this is the language difference we study and shows research in 1969. So there is a research evidence on that statement we have given already, that according to his research, 62.2 men pronounced ing in a wrong way, like they use walk in, they use not pronounce it correctly. But only 28.9 girls, sorry, I forgot to write it, girls or women pronounced wrong. So there is less a ratio of girls pronouncing the one feature wrong than boys. There are huge amount of boys here, or the men here. So according to this research, it is clear that women are more concerned and they use better pronunciation than men. Difference in intonation. So students, what is the intonation? Do you have any idea? Anybody knows it? Okay, let me tell you. Intonation means rise and fall in the pitch, rise and fall in your speech. Like if I'm speaking, my voice is not constant. Sometimes I, lower my pitch, I speak like lower, and higher, I speak like that. So not like that, but when I speak, it happens like that, where I'm falling my intonation, falling my voice, or rising it like that. So in that feature, men and women are different. Men have less rise of pitch as compared to women. They speak in the lower pitch not only due to physiological reason, but they have less pitch in their speech not only due to physiological reason, but of their emotional strength and stability. Women have more pitch than men, and men have less pitch than women, because not they're designed to do so, but also that men are emotionally strong and stable. So when you're strong, you don't make your voice shrill, and you don't use rise of pitch in that, so it is clear. And women tend to speak in high rise pitch. They have very high pitch in their speech, not only because they have been designed to do so, but because of their timidity and emotional instability, because they are emotionally unstable, weak, and fragile. So it is said that that's why they speak like that. So there is nothing like you can agree with me, you can disagree with me. These are just the studies and not the facts that you can say that I'm not saying you just to believe what I'm saying. These are just the studies, and they are changeable. Men use falling intonation while answering a question to show confidence. What is falling intonation? Like when I speak, I fall down my voice. I speak like that. Men use falling intonation while answering a question. They use falling voice, they use falling intonation to answer a question when they are confident. I will give an example later on, don't worry. Women use rising intonation in answering a question to show gentleness and docility, and when they are not sure. If they're unsure, they would use rising intonation. If they want to show gentleness, they will also use rising intonation. Women's rising intonation shows gentleness and lack of confidence. Let's hear an example. For example, wife asks her husband, "Where are the car keys?" And husband says, so we studied that men use falling intonation. Okay, keys are on the table, falling intonation. To show that husband is sure of what he's speaking, because they are sure and they are male and they are strong, something like that in their mind. And now, husband, where are the car keys? Wife, now a rising intonation would be there on the table with rising intonation, maybe for showing gentleness, or whether she is not sure that keys are on their keys are there or not. So this is the difference in their speech, that one is using falling intonation to show strength and to show confidence, and another gender is using rising intonation to show they are being gentle, docile, or they are not sure of what they're saying. So this is the difference. and I discussed just the two differences, and later on I will discuss more and more differences, like in the vocabulary, like in their structures, like what topics they want to talk, and their non-verbal use of language, and different other languages, and I'll make series of video lectures on it. So stay tuned and keep watching